Hello, dear students. Welcome to the Bajirao IAS Academy. Today is 5th January, and we are going to discuss the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. So, in today's session, we are going to cover three important editorial, and the first article is related to terror in Iran. You know that yesterday there was series of two bomb blasts occurred in Iran, and this caused the death of 84 people. So why this things is happening, and you can correlate that all these crises is making the West Asia a ring of fire where the stability and peace is becoming far and the conflict is becoming closer. And apart from that, it can have a bigger repercussions in the global peace and stability, because with related to the Israel Hamas war, there is already a tension, and if this type of issue is again rising in different countries of the West Asia, so the conflict is never going to end, and that's why we refer to it as the ring of fire. Okay, so one issue we will be discussing, and then further we will be shifting to the another issue where we are going to discuss issues related to urbanization. Specifically, we will be talking about Kerala, because recently the Kerala government announced Kerala Urbanization Commission. So what are the features, and whether these type of commissions should be established at national level as well? And apart from that, what other states can learn from Kerala? Okay, and this is direct topic for your main syllabus, urbanization and the related issue. Then further, we will be shifting towards the last article where we will be trying to understand that how conflicts can be violence, conflict can be insurgency, and how these conflicts frustrates or disturbs the healthcare system. And here the people gets affected, the health professionals gets affected, various healthcare services gets affected, the supply chain gets affected. And here the context is related to Manipur violence. Okay, and you know that recently again fresh violence started in Manipur, so that is also disturbing the internal security as well. So the lecture should be much more interesting, but I request you, if you are new to our channel, kindly like, share and subscribe, and also spread to your friends circle. So let's move to the discussion. The first article can be related to GS paper 2. So we know that yesterday there was series of two bomb blasts in Iran. In that blast, at least 84 people have been killed, and on that day there was processions going on by the peoples of Iran near the tomb of Iranian General Qasim Soleimani on the 4th anniversary of his assassination by the US. And here we need to understand about this personality, because this Qasim Soleimani, okay, he was the most powerful figure in Iran. We can say that supreme commander of the Iran's military. But US treated him as a terrorist. That's why in 2020, via US drone strike in the neighboring Iraq, this person was killed in 2020. Okay, but in Iran, people treat as Masiha, okay, and have changing personality. That's why the processions was going on. But what is the linkage of this personality and the bomb blast? One thing you have to understand, that initially there was no claimings by any organization or terrorist organization regarding this bomb blast, but after few times the IS, the Islamic State, claimed about this blast. So why IS done this? So you have to go into the background. We will be discussing a lot, but first of all, look some of the map where this blast done, because UPSC can ask you the map based question as well. Okay, so here this is Iran, and the capital of Iran is Tehran. Okay, and if you move to southeast of Tehran, you will be getting Kerman. So here, this is the city where the bomb blast was occurred. And how this bomb blast occurred, you have to understand that the processions route was like this. People were going via this route, okay, and there was two bomb which was fitted. One bomb was fitted here and the another bomb was fitted here. So when people was moving via this road, so when the people accumulated here, there was first bomb blast, okay, then people started moving backwards, okay, backwards. So again the second blast occurs, so that's why this killed many people, okay. And the procession or the tomb was located at the military cemetery, which is nearby Sahib al Jaman Mosque, okay. So people were visiting here for the respect, but there was series of bomb blasts. So hope you understood, okay. That is very important point to understand. Now the question is, who is responsible? So initially when there was no claim, then the Iranian authority called it as a terrorist attack. Yes, it is a terrorist attack, but the second rung officials and the peoples blamed the US and Israel for the attack because of the current context which is going in the region of Israel and Hamas. Okay, but clarify by the US that USA as well as Israel had no role in the terrorist attack which occurred in the Kerman. Okay, then further there was a news by the IS that this terrorist group, that is Islamic State, claimed this bomb state. But we have to understand why. For that we have to go deeper into the history. Like this personality, Soleimani, okay, he was a sworn enemy, जिसको हम कहते हैं जानी दुश्मन, sworn enemy. And this personality mobilized the Shia militia to fight the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq, and because of that there was huge destruction of the physical structures of the Islamic State empire. And we have seen many videos of Iraq and Syria, and in that time US was also trying to destroy all the infrastructures, the character, the terrorist of IS. And you may have remembered if you are preparing for the longer terms, and also you do have the ideas about it, okay. So that's why IS was not liking this personality as well, and hence this bomb blast was done. And also there is a difference between IS and the Iran. So one point is also there. So hope you understood. But the point is that the entire West Asia is becoming a ring of fire where only conflict is rising but not the solution. And we can make you understand via this map. Like because of Israel Hamas war, the conflict is in this region. Now it is being expanded to Yemen as well, because Yemen have the Houthis who is like attacking the commercial vehicles. And apart from that, the Lebanon, in the Lebanon we have the Hezbollah, the militia supported by Iran, and they are also contributing in this war as well, okay. Apart from that, the indirect influence of Iran is there, okay. So these all are the things which showcase that entire West Asia is becoming the ring of fire, okay. And apart from that, we have various incidents like on Thursday, US strike in Iraq killed a Shia militia commander, okay. So the Israel Hamas war is no longer about just Israel and Hamas, it is expanding the horizon, and it can engulf all the peace, security, and stability of this region. So, hope you understood this article in great detail, and there should be the clarification definitely. Okay, so there is a boon for jihadist if this type of incidents are getting promoted, are getting expanded, okay. So chaos and instability if gets spread because of these escalation of the war, so these jihadists will take the benefits and it can further cause the escalation of the disturbances and the peace issue. Okay, so there is a need to have a de-escalation of the current regional crisis, and here Iran should not walk into the web of provocations like the attack happened. So there should be not sudden retaliation. Okay, otherwise there will be further escalations. So the Iran should strengthen the internal security, and there can be the learnings for India as well. Okay, because the horizon of this disturbances which is occurring in the West Asia can also impact even the India as well. So we also have to strengthen our internal security as well. That is another point. Hope you understood. Now we are shifting to the second article, and it is related to GS paper 1. So when we talk about urbanization in India, okay, current scenario is that majority of the population lives in the rural area and very less population lives in the urban area. It's like 70-30 ratio. Okay, but as the development is going on, as we have huge populations, the demand for the jobs, okay, so these all are leading to the peoples migrating to the urban city. Okay, and that's why these urban cities are expanding, but not in a formal way, but informally. Okay, and that's why we have slums, we have lack of proper infrastructure. Okay, breakable infrastructure, all of these we see in our daily life. So there is a need to have a proper planning, proper infrastructure management. That's why recently Kerala government formed the Kerala Urban Commission, and it has given the 12-month mandate that aims to address the challenge of urbanization. Now you have to comment in the chat box what are the various challenges of a urban city. It can be the overpopulation, it can be like bad infrastructure, it can be the traffic congestion, it can be the water and the flooding related issue. There are many more challenge, so try to give answer in the chat box. Okay, and apart from that, this commission will be making or preparing a roadmap for at least 25 years of urban development, proper urban development. That means urban development with proper planning. So in this article there is a suggestion that this concept should be utilized by other state as well, and they should also establish urban commission for their state. And apart from that, there is a need to have a revival of national urbanization commission, so that overall coordination and the planning of various futuristic city should be done. So that is the main concern which has been highlighted in this article. Now we are going into the history of urbanization. So since independence, we are progressing towards urbanization. Okay, but we have to understand that our economy, our political structure have changed lots of in terms of their behavior. Okay, in terms of the development, in terms of the process of private and public collaboration. So we divide the urbanization growth phase into two. One is your Nehruvian phase, the another will be your phase after 1990s. Okay. So in the Nehruvian phase, there was the focus on holistic city development. That means developing the city completely. Okay, not only certain region of the city. Holistic development means complete development of the city, but the way was via centralized planning. There will be the bigger authority on the top, they will make the planning. Okay, and that will be implemented at the ground level. But you know that this top to bottom approach is not good, but bottom to up top approach is preferable, because different locations or the regions have different challenge. Okay, so that is one thing. And here a state was acting as a basic instrument of capital accumulation, like they were providing the infrastructure, there was having public companies, okay, in the cities, they were providing employment. So there was lack of private participation in simple terms. And apart from that, manufacturing crisis was there. Informal sector in the urban areas were progressing, where daily wage earners, slum developments were all visible. Okay, so that's why the urban plans failed miserably. So that is the one thing. But when we talk about 1990s phase, so you know that in this phase there was liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So with liberalization and privatization, the concept of private companies, private participation, private stakeholders started coming, and this was utilized even in the urbanization as well. Like privatization of cities began, many facilities were provided by the private companies. Okay, and there was development of various city in India based on the global cities. Okay, and master plans for the cities, for the development of the city, were handed over to large parastatals or the big consultancy firms. So these big consultancy firms were either private public partnership or the private company. So they were providing the master plans that our city should be developed in that way, in that way. Okay, but there was concern because access support to the private sector regarding urbanization, that led to the away from the concept of welfare state. Like these services were moving away, and there was no concept of social housing, public health, and education. That's why this is in under the biggest crisis now, because the private sector didn't focus on the welfare concept. Okay, that's why we have the crisis in the public health, we have the crisis in the public education, we have the crisis in even the social housing. Okay, but the real estate sector become more prominent, and you see that in urban area, whenever you go for the rent, what are the rent charges? It's very high. Okay, so cities became the growth of engine, but not the space of enlightenment, like prosperity, like removing your anxiety. Okay, whenever you come to the city, maybe you get attracted by the infrastructure, but if you are completely engaged for 5 years, 6 years, maybe you may face anxiety. Okay, struggle and many more things. And apart from that, we have the job crisis and many things. Okay, so in this phase, whole city approach was transformed into project oriented approach. So that led to the underdevelopment of the cities, and that's why we have the spread of slums and many more things and the urban crisis. Okay, and when we try to understand one important thing, that in 1990, in 1985, there was the establishment of urban commission by the Rajiv Gandhi government. Okay, so it was focused for like urban development, urban planning, and many more things. But it was like in the cold bag. Okay, and now it needs to revived. And when we talk about basics of the National Commission on Urbanization that established in 1985, it was headed by Charles Correa. And try to remember this name because it can be asked in the prelims question as well. Okay, so the Kerala government, which recently formed the commission, it will ensure that there should be the pattern of urbanization, and what should be that pattern, how we will be handling the migration, because it's also a biggest problem. Okay, and what will be the settlement pattern, and in geography you read about the settlement pattern. Okay, so this is the thing. But after 1990s phase, the urbanization process was reduced to just mission approach. We were focusing on some mission, but not on the holistic approach. Okay, so that is one thing we need to understand, and we have to be like holistic in approach. But there are other roadblocks as well related to governance. Okay, and here you should understand that after the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, specifically 74th constitutional amendment, municipalities came. Okay, and in municipalities there is 18 different subjects that will be coming under the local self government or the municipalities. Okay, but many of the functions are not devolved to these municipalities, and they are also underfunded. Financial architecture is not perfect. They still depends on the center's fund or the state funds. Okay, so that's why at the national level there is a need to have a another national commission that will plan for our cities, that will address the challenge, that will identify the challenge and provide the innovative and creative solution. Okay, so this Kerala government approach can also be the lighthouse for other state as well. So hope you understand all these articles. Okay, so that's the point. So thank you friends, thank you very much.